Good morning, afternoon, and evening to everybody. I'm just waking up. I had a really bad sleep last night. I pretty much didn't sleep at all. I got a new watch that tells me my sleeping patterns, and I hit deep sleep once. And I go to bed around 11 o'clock at night, and I wake up around 10 or 11 in the morning. I know that may seem a lot, but my husband and I are trying to make it so that I'm getting enough sleep at night just because it's so important to recovery and my legs are killing me. Anyway, I'm talking really quiet because if my son hears me in the morning, he's going to want to come upstairs. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about a video on ways that you can lose weight. But before we do that, this has to change. Are you ready? So much better. So now we're gonna head down to the gym. Rylan still doesn't know that I'm up. I'm all good, ready to go. I just gotta have my breakfast. Then we're gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna tell you ways that you can lose weight. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to my home gym. This will be one of many videos that I do. Just making sure that you guys are, comfortable in my home too. Get to know me, I get to know you. A learning experience this will be. So I'm coming to you with 11 of my top tips on losing weight. As you know, I have been kind of taking things a little in a different approach. I had a baby 16 weeks ago at the time of this video. I started losing weight to get lean, and then I decided that I wanted to switch it up a couple notches and pack on some muscle. There are many reasons for the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing. That's a whole other video. But gaining muscle for me is my kind of goal this year. Now, I wanted to talk to a few of you because although I'm gaining muscle, there's a ton of people out there, especially with COVID, lockdown, not getting out, not staying active, that want to lose weight. So one thing I wanted to really make sure is that I can provide value for you. Yes, it's great that you watch my journey and seeing how I'm doing and my progress, the food I'm eating, but if you're not looking to pack on muscle like I am, you do not do what I do because you're just gonna get really, really large and you're gonna have a hard time burning it off. Now, if it's something you want to do, I suggest you get lean first. And then you do a clean bulking. Again, another video. So without further ado, let's get started. Number one, stop making excuses. I have a no excuse tolerance. I'm telling you, BS out the window. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care if you have a job. I don't care if the weather is bad, your ankle hurts that day, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. My biggest thing is that unless you have a medical condition that literally prohibits you from any type of exercise, there is no reason that you can't find a way to get active to lose some pounds. Now, I'm not saying that, this is a for all end all. This is just a matter of I hear excuses all the time and it drives me crazy. I am a mother of 4, and yes, I'm not a single mother of 4, and it is harder for mothers who don't have support, and stay-at-home dads, and business people who work out of the home, in the home. I think in the home is harder during COVID, but the biggest thing is stop making excuses. Instead of saying, I can't do this because, find a way to, how can I make this work? That is absolutely pristine, so important that you change what's up here in order to affect what's down here. Now, this whole thing, I only started working out, 7 weeks ago? My recovery from my baby took a lot longer than I expected. I had excuses. They were valid excuses. But then once I was cleared from the doctor, there was no reason why I shouldn't get off the couch. And this is the funny part. I made excuses all the damn time. I was too tired. I didn't want to take the time to go get my pants on to come down to my gym in my basement. You think I'm going to sign up for a gym membership? If I can't make it into my own house, there is something more wrong. Number 2, You need to defriend Netflix or Amazon Prime or Global TV. I don't care what subscription you have or cable thing that you've got going. Stop watching so much TV. If you're one of those people that can sit down and watch an entire series or 5 episodes back to back to back, you are spending way too much time on the couch or in your bed, because that's what people do. And you need to be moving more. Moving is calorie burning. This is super, super important. Number 3, stop starving yourself. Oh my gosh. But one of my biggest things that I'm seeing, and is especially now that I've become a personal trainer, I've learned a lot of stuff I could never tell you before. Nutrition isn't something that we cover a huge amount on, but it still allows you to really see where things are going in people's minds. And one of the biggest things that we have globally is people think, I need to lose weight, I need to stop eating. There are so many people fasting. Intermittent fasting, especially for religious reasons, that's one thing. But when you're like, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to stop eating, or no more food after, supper time. I'm not having any snacks. I'm not doing this. And then I'll have a couple friends of mine, they're like, oh, well, I'm working out all the time, and, I do a lot of cardio stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you eating? Well, I have orange juice and, some eggs or a piece of toast or whatever for breakfast. And then I'll wait till about lunch, and I decided that, I'm gonna have some dip with celery sticks, maybe some carrots, maybe they have a slice of cheese. And then they don't eat again until supper time, and their supper is like, well, you know what, I love baking, I love cooking for my husband, but I'm not gonna touch it because I'm just not interested, I'd rather eat something else, and it's literally super small. And then they don't eat anything for the rest of the day. You are starving yourself. And one of my friends put it the best analogy I could ever imagine. Imagine a fire. What happens when the fire doesn't get wood? It burns out. So our bodies are the fire, our food is our wood, and if we don't keep replenishing, that fire's gonna die down, and we're not gonna get the results that we're looking for. So stop starving yourself. Eat more. Number 4, drink more water. I am horrible. I'm gonna admit it. I suck at drinking enough water. You should be drinking, now this is the fun part, you should be drinking for every kilogram you are in weight, you should be drinking that many ounces in water for maintenance only. So I'm 58 ounces of water, essentially. At 58 kilograms, I should be drinking 58 ounces of water in a day. Easy math. Ask Google to convert it for you. Now, if you've added resistance training, cardio training, you're out hiking all the time, it's summer, you're sweating more often, you're gonna need to bump that up a little bit. Your threshold isn't gonna be quite as low. Number 5, caloric deficit. You need to be in one. I am building muscle, which means I need to eat more than I burn, which has been phenomenal, by the way. Another reason you should bulk. Gain more muscle. But in terms of what you're doing, you want to be in a caloric deficit. Now this again goes back to the don't starve yourself. You have a minimum amount of calories that you should be consuming in a day, but you need to eat a little bit less than what you normally are. Now I am huge on myself with personal training. The very first thing that I will get you to do after I do all your assessments and stuff is I will give you a book, tell you to go home, and for the next 3 days, write everything you consume. Every drink, every snack, I don't care if it's 5 peanuts on the side. There's even times I'll be even in the van, my son has a chocolate chip cookie and I eat like the tiniest amount, but I put it in there because it's super important to see what you're eating in a day. I have one client who's like, I don't eat really anything. Okay, get his book back, he's eating way more than you think. Now the funny thing is that they're not all good calories, and that's huge. So he says he's not eating very much, and then I get back what he's eating. He's not eating enough of the right thing. I have another one who is barely eating at all, and legitimately, this is why we're holding on to the extra weight. There are some days we have off days. We haven't been feeling well, job got super hectic, something happened with the children, that kind of screws up your normal flow of food, scrap that day, restart. Number one, we're talking the average, normal, typical day for you. That will give you an overall how much you're eating. And tracking calories can be monotonous, but I'm telling you, it is super important if you're losing weight or gaining weight. Myself, I measure literally every gram that I consume, but I have to because otherwise I'm literally not burning enough. So it's super important that you get an idea. So take a book over the next couple days, sheet of paper, doesn't matter, write down everything. If it's you got a tea and you didn't drink it all, write that you didn't drink it all. But how much did you drink? 3/4? Okay, figure that out. This is super important to figuring out how much you need to burn versus how much you're eating. The average male needs between 2,000 and 3,000 calories per day. The average female is 1,600 to 2,400. You should stay on the lower side of those. Now, if you are looking to gain muscle, you are going to be in a completely different zone here. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we're looking at getting you lean first, then doing the adding muscle. Number 6, eat in more often and eat healthier. People say that it's so expensive to eat healthy food, but when you take into consideration the amount that you might be getting sick, your health overall, you're not feeling like you want to go into work because you're lethargic that day, you've got headaches and migraines, and it's coming from the sources of your food, that is huge because now you're losing time from work. Regardless of whether or not you're getting paid sick time, the whole overall idea is that your physical health, we're given one body, we need to take care of it. Super, super important, we need to take care of it. So eating it more often, being more mindful of our foods. Fast foods are high in sodium and sugar to keep us coming back. But in terms of going online, it's free to check out recipes online, work with what you have at home. There are so many things that my biggest go-to, buying fresh produce, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, beans, peas, whatever produce you're gonna have, and just cut it up, mix and match. I will do, green string beans and snap peas and put them with some olive oil and do a little bit of seasoning, and ta-da, that's a whole new meal for me. I'll do maybe some sweet potatoes, and maybe I'll do a cauliflower mash to replace mashed potatoes. So just be more mindful and trying to stay away from canned foods. Canned foods are full of preservatives and things that aren't naturally good for our body, which affects our hormones, and our hormones affect the way that we hold our body weight. So eating more often, being mindful of what you're eating, and trying to stay away from prepackaged stuff. Number 7, a calorie is not just a calorie. I'm going to show you a picture. So in this picture, you're going to see a plate of food. That food is equivalent to those 2 arrow bars beside it. They are literally 420 calories for the 2 things. So you can see the difference in terms of what you should be eating. A calorie is not just a calorie. Sure, I could consume those 2 arrow bars. Oh my gosh, delicious, and I'd probably still want more. But the nutrition is not going to come from those bars. Not to mention, you do crave more, so you're gonna wanna eat more. Number 8. Do not rely on your step counter. I don't care if you've got a Fitbit, smartwatch, your normal phone. Stop relying on your counters. I have so many people that are like, I did 16,000 steps today. I did a 12-hour shift and I was on my feet all day. Okay, that's great. But when I step forward, it's literally my ability to catch my own weight. There's no energy expenditure from this. Okay, there's a little bit in terms of the mechanics of the body, but you are not building muscle. You're not actually burning anything. When you walk for intention, you're going for a walk, you're outside, walking nonstop. Okay, fine, by all means count that. But when you're in a sedentary environment or you're in the same vicinity, right now, my watch has just counted 4 steps. I have burned the same amount of calories as if pretty much doing nothing and just standing here. So being mindful of your step counters. Stop using them. You can use them for the purposes of exercise. You can use them for the purposes of being mindful of how active you were, but don't rely on them in terms of saying that you're more active than you are. Number 9, get more sleep. It's not that easy. I know. I'm a mom of 2 kids under 2 and my daughters are in school. I struggle with this big time. Now the average peak time for sleep is between 6 and 8 hours. Some people say 5 and 7 because it should be an off hour due to the REM cycles of your sleep, but 6 to 8 hours, just ballpark it. Easier said than done, I know. Last night, like you saw, I didn't hit REM sleep more than once, and I only got 4 hours in the 9 hours I was in bed. So that's just gonna go to prove that I wake up a bazillion times, whether it's Rylan because he's having a hard time sleeping. He's almost 2 and he still doesn't sleep through the night. And that's frustrating. And then I've got my 16-week-old who is still feeding around the clock. So I get having kids is really, really difficult to get sleep. Stressing your life is really hard to get a good sleep. Maybe you have sleep apnea, maybe you have other medical conditions that are preventing you from sleeping, but it doesn't mean you can't adjust your routine to try to sleep better. Stop using your phones before bed. Stop watching TV before bed. Do something that is away from bright lights. This has been a scientific thing since we've had phones. Okay, well, not since we've had phones, but closely after. There's a huge correlation to the amount that our brains perceive that we need to stay awake based on the light that we are receiving. Natural light, our phones, you can get the blue light glasses as well, which would help if you can't refuse. But at the same time, it's super, super important that you stay away from the bright stuff and try to just adjust. Go to bed a little earlier maybe. I know, again, easier said than done because you got kids and then you got to get ready for work and you got this. No excuses. Rule number 1, figure it out. Make the time. Number 10, resistance cardio is key. So many people are like, oh, I'm gonna hit the gym and I'm gonna do the treadmill. All right, I'm gonna hit the treadmill. And they're down on the treadmill. Do you know how long your afterburn is? Not very much. Might last maybe 15, 20 minutes. So if you're working your tush off and you're giving her and you're done that cardio and you're on your way home, by the time you get home, you probably stop burning calories. Yay! Unless you find a way to burn calories while you sleep, you are going to work out until you die. So the key here is resistance cardio training. When I do training for my clients, I make sure that it is a cardio workout, lots of breathing, and you're also getting that resistance training. You can do this anywhere. You don't need a home gym. Don't get me wrong, it's way easier because I have all the equipment. I've got the treadmill, I've got the weights, I've got the benches, I've got resistance bands galore. I have a whole slew of stuff down here. You don't need it to be successful at this. Literally, grab, you could even do your detergent, do a squat, hold it, and just go. And you're going to notice your quads are burning. So you're getting that building muscle and you're going to add that extra weight, which is going to increase your heart rate. And to be honest, the majority of people, when they start doing resistance cardio training, they're so deconditioned that it's gonna raise your heart rate anyways. You might be down to like 5 and just like, holy crap, this hurts. Push-ups, you can't do normal push-ups, do them off the wall. Skipping, don't have a skip rope, jump on the same spot. Got knee problems, there's adjustments for that. I can't stress enough how much proper technique is key with any type of training, because if you're training wrong, number 1, you're gonna be prone to injury, and second of all, it's not gonna work as good. Because if you're not using the muscles the way that they're supposed to, it's just not gonna work out. Number 11. This one's a weird one. Go get blood work done. Why? Because our bodies are full of hormones, chemical reactions, weird things go on, our metabolic rates are just everything about us. It changes on a regular basis. And sometimes we don't know that there's an underlying condition, whether it's high blood pressure, low blood pressure, thyroid issues, you name it, can affect your ability to lose weight. The number 1 stressor, cortisol. Stress holds on to fat like you wouldn't believe, like it's starving to death. And it's gonna keep you where you are for a very long time if you don't get it under control. So go to your doctor, request a blood panel. Just tell them, hey, look, I'm looking at getting some exercise in. I wanna make sure that everything is up to snuff. Can I have a panel of, all the generic stuff? Make sure you get your cortisol levels checked as well. thyroid, all your basic stuff to make sure that you're good to go. Once that's all in the clear, then we know that there's nothing that's preventing you from losing the weight. Not to mention, you should be getting a doctor's consultation before you start any workout regime in the first place. Not to mention, if you're changing up your foods and you're on any medications, if you have any health conditions, check with your doctor first. This is not medical advice, this is just common sense. So I'm excited for you guys to be on this journey with me, seeing me bulk up, which, by the way, I gotta admit, I have never been able to eat so much in my life and not feel guilty about it. Alright guys, so that's my 11 top tips to helping you lose weight. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button there down on the right to you and click the notification bell so that you can get all my upcoming videos. And until next time, we're strengthening your mind, your body, and your life. Congratulations on making that change. It sounds really, really stupid. A bazillion times. Am I gonna have a blooper reel? I guess I am. My son is so disappointed I'm downstairs. Anyways. Oh boy. Sounds like a hoot and a holler's going on up there. Number 7. Ooh, boy. Can't count today. Number 11. I don't have enough fingers. Okay, 2, 10. Wait, that's 12. Oh my gosh. Ah! Whether it's high blood pressure, low blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tongue twisters. Hit the subscription.